Welcome to RGB, your weekly podcast where we discuss the latest technology news, cool gadgets, product reviews, new apps, and great workflows. This is episode number 12. My name is Alexandre Vallière-Lagacé. I'm sick, and I'm joined by my co-host, Tyler Menard. This week, we discuss WWDC predictions, a dreamy new Thunderbolt display, and our iOS 10 wishlist.
So this week, a week before WWDC, we're going to talk about our WWDC predictions.
WWDC.
WWDC predictions. So it's mainly a developer conference. So we're expecting all the releases to be developer oriented. So MacBook Pros, maybe a Thunderbolt display, services. I'm not sure we're going to see that much hardware since it's just it's a coincidence if they can release hardware at the same time. Usually, they don't try to make big hardware releases around WWDC. It's the middle of the summer. People aren't really buying new stuff. I think that they keep the big releases for in the fall so they can sell them at the Christmas or holidays.
Yes, but this year has been such a long time since they released a new MacBook Pro or even just changed the Intel CPUs for new versions. It's past due, if you want my opinion. So hopefully they will get something on stage with Phil Schiller. It could be like simple and straightforward because I'm guessing if there's new hardware, it will be probably a few new features per device that can fit maybe on a 4-point bullet presentation sheet. But all the new stuff will be software-wise, and this could cover the whole macOS thing and usually the integrations with iOS. So yeah, definitely I hope for MacBook Pros because that's the developer's machine, the one that most people buy unless they're on a budget. New screens, new Thunderbolts, that would be such a welcomed change. Mac Pros, I don't think so. Usually because Apple releases new hardware with the new Intel chips. But since the Mac Pro usually use the Xeon chips, which is a server-based version of the CPU, that comes at a later date. Now, Apple is so late that perhaps they have both ready at the same time. But usually, if we follow whatever happened in the past, it's always later, at least like 3 to 6 months later. So maybe they're going to announce new hardware for Christmas. We'll see. What did you think about the MacBook Air?
With the new OLED display? Well, that
or just keep it as they are, drop the price for $100 less, and have two models of MacBook Ones?
I don't see them having a 12-inch and a 13-inch MacBook One. They're the same size practically. So,
what about 12 and 14?
If they remove the Air, maybe.
Okay.
To replace so it's going to be replacing the 11 and the 13 Air by a 12 and a 14, I guess.
Yeah.
That could have made sense. And you're right. I forgot they released the first Retina MacBook Pro 15-inch at WWDC a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Right. So we might see new Mac Pros or just a bump in CPU.
Yeah. I think the new iMacs too, no? The iMacs 4K, 5K?
Really?
Was it last year or
the year before?
Yeah, the year before.
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Okay.
They're too expensive. I don't want to talk about those devices.
Yeah, but they're pretty. So.
I know. That's why I don't want to talk about them.
Yeah, so I personally, I think that the MacBook Air will stay in the lineup. They will get some minor specs bump. No Retina screen, still the same low res screen because who's buying those is people under a very tight budget or schools. Or companies. I know at work we have lots of those because not everybody is a developer. And if you have simple salespeople with their spreadsheets and their
emails,
you don't need like a MacBook Pro for that. So a 13-inch with the good specs can do the job very well. But I'm sure they're going to drop the price because right now I think it's $799 and $899 in this US.
The MacBook Airs?
The MacBook Air.
I think it's $899.
Okay.
And I just checked also the 5K was released in October. The iMac 5K.
Oh, okay. But not announced earlier. No. $899 and $999 for the MacBook Air. So I'm pretty sure when you said price drop for these, if they stay in the lineup, so probably $100 less, which would be $799, which would be, I think, the cheapest Mac ever. Because I remember the iMac G3, one of the mid-range product eventually dropped for $100 to $799 for a couple months, and then they got refreshed with spec bumps and brought back to $899.
The original, the colored one there.
Yeah, the colored one.
We had those in grade school.
Yeah, we had those also in high school, but we never got to use them because when I was too old. Yeah, so I checked Stephen Hackett. He did a super nice post on the iMac G3 family tree and a video on YouTube. The links will be in the show notes. And in July 2000, they shipped a Indigo iMac with no FireWire and no support for AirPort for $799, which was, I think, the cheapest a Mac desktop computer ever was. So now we could have maybe a MacBook Air that is currently at $899, drop to $799, just to reach that super low point that was only reached in the past only once. But if you want my opinion, the most welcome change, if it will be announced, would be the Thunderbolt Display. There were rumors of new 5K Thunderbolt Display. Then they have rumors of displays with integrated GPUs. Personally, I really believe this for one simple reason. There's already a Razer laptop, which is the Razer Blade Stealth laptop, which has exactly this configuration. You can use the laptop on the go. It has some good GPU. But when you get home, you can plug it using a Thunderbolt 3/USB-C connector to this humongous case, which has a super big GPU like you have in desktop computers. So at home, you can use this GPU that is external, plugged via USB-C/Thunderbolt 3 to power the laptop and get some more powerful performance for gaming. So I would see the exact same configuration, except the GPU would be inside the Thunderbolt display. I know Rene Ritchie said that this will not happen. He has some little birdies that told him so. I really hope he's wrong, because that's, for me, the only way that you would be able to use such a powerful display using today's technology, except that the only computers with a USB-C port right now is the MacBook One. So you would have a new screen that can only work with the MacBook One and probably the new refreshed MacBook Pros, unless Apple integrates the same USB-C port in the MacBook Air and eventually the Mac Pro. But that would make it like, probably they're going to keep the existing Thunderbolt display, drop its price for whatever older computers, and then you could have this 5K Thunderbolt display that would be USB-C or a connector so that the screen can toggle between having the GPU on or off. That would be something else. The only downside to that is that you integrate new technologies, integrate more components that can fail into something that is, in theory, quite dumb, which is just like a screen and some small motherboard. Now you integrate some GPUs, and lucky as I am with my GPUs, if I buy one, it would be fried on me in under 3 years.
So you think there's no way Thunderbolt 3 can run 5K?
I don't think so. I think the specs are not sufficient. It could probably run 4K, but on 5K. And 27-inch with 4Ks, I think that would be such a stretch. Like, I don't think that it would look good, especially that we saw the 5K in the iMac.
Right, because the iMac 5K is 27-inch, and the 21-inch is only 4K, right?
Exact, yes.
Okay.
So getting the 4K resolution on a 5K, on a 27-inch, well, it won't be bad because it's going to be better than what we have right now. but I think it's not gonna be enough. So you need something to help it for that.
Do you think they would release a 27 and a 21 inch? And the 21 inch would be Thunderbolt 3 compatible, so it'd be compatible with all the current MacBook Pros that people have now.
That could be a way to do it. We would just have to make sure that the bandwidth is sufficient. Let me see something.
People were talking about a cable with 2 Thunderbolt connectors also.
But the problem is not necessarily the connector. I think it's the graphic card that cannot power so many pixels. So yeah, Thunderbolt 3 is supposedly 40 gigabits per second of bandwidth compared to 20 for Thunderbolt 2. So your current device, let's say your current MacBook Pro, probably cannot power that.
Because it'd be a shame if they release a super nice 5K display, but doesn't work with anything that's currently available. So then you'd have to buy a new laptop and the new screen, which is going to be what, $1,500?
Yeah, the price will go up, that's for sure, because of the new components.
This one has been available for the past 5 years, I think.
Yeah, 5-6 years easily. You see, right now, if you use DisplayPort 1.3, which is the latest one that has support for 4K and 5K, but the problem is that it's capped at 32 gigabits. 32 gigabits per second, and which is above the 20 we currently have for the Thunderbolt 2. But it only supports 4K at 60 frames per second. It does support 5K and 8K, but probably at 30 frames per second or even less. After looking at some of the numbers, you can see that Thunderbolt 3 has 40 gigabits of bandwidth, which would be sufficient for 2 4K displays at 60 Hz or a single 5K display at 60 Hz by only one cable. So in theory, the new MacBook Pros, if they have Thunderbolt 3, they could power a 27-inch 5K Retina display. That would be possible. But this would bring this new display available only to use with certain computers, which would be the newly released MacBook Pros and possibly in a new Mac Pro this summer or later this year. But what about other computers? Let's say you have a brand new MacBook Pro you just bought like this month.
Too bad, so sad.
Yeah, or if they include the GPU inside the screen itself, probably that you would be able to output your data to the screen and the screen itself would process it.
So that's why we want the GPU inside the display itself. So it's going to be compatible with all the old computers.
Yes, everything down to Thunderbolt 2. So, and even probably the MacBook, which is not enough power to do it, but would transfer the responsibility on the display. So perhaps it's not because Apple has not been known to help older device be compatible with new technology. Usually when they offer something like that, they just basically say, screw you, you're too old, the CD, the diskette, go on with the future. So this time with you're too old, go on with
your crappy displays.
Yeah, exactly. So keep your old non-retina stuff, and they're gonna move on with the new stuff. So yeah, we'll have to know. We'll have to see. I sincerely hope this will not be the case, because especially for anybody who's been holding off to buy a new display, this would be perfect. But new computer, new display, you're getting into the $3,000, $4,000 price range quite easily. So that would be an expensive summer for many developers. What do you think about the new Mac Pro? Will they be announcing it or releasing it this year? Or
after thinking about it, I think so. I said at first no, because they don't release stuff at WWDC. Usually not too much hardware, but they released the first Retina 15-inch MacBooks at WWDC. So I guess it's the MacBook Pro is mainly targeted at developers and people that demand more from their computers than the Air for students and stuff. So maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, should be a possibility.
No new Mac Pro, you think?
Well,
who uses a Mac Pro anyways?
Yeah, no, seriously, it's a beautiful machine, but it's
It hasn't been given any love usually lately.
well, it's not as as customizable as before. So you have to wait for Apple to make a new revision because there's basically no real components you can switch in there. So everything should be external and using Thunderbolt 2, but Thunderbolt 2 is not super powerful. So yeah, it's kind of a half-baked product right now. If they could introduce faster technology, new CPU, Thunderbolt 3, maybe it's going to be more useful for very high bandwidth usage, like video and stuff like that. And whatever, they need some kind of 5K display to do their video editing, so get on it.
So they're gonna preview the new version of Mac OS 10.
Yep.
Do you think they're gonna change the name to Mac OS too? Mac OS 10.
Yep, that's for sure. Because remember not too long ago they released some internal documentation.
Yeah, leaked.
External. Yeah, and they linked and inside it. They used the term Mac OS with a small MAC. So I'm sure that's the internal name that they've been using for a while. That's the future name they're going to release. And after WatchOS, iOS, why not Mac OS? It's all the same.
Do you think we're going to see Phone OS? No, because we use it on the iPad and the Apple TV.
Yeah, exactly. And it's already a small I, so...
Yeah, but they're getting rid of the I's.
Yes, but iOS is kind of like a brand now. It's harder. Because the Mac OS, it's still the Mac. So if they were to remove Mac, then that would be something very wrong to do. But keeping Mac just for Mac OS, WatchOS, iOS... It just rolls the tongue.
they already took off Mac. It's only OS 10. There's no more Mac. They're gonna bring back the Mac.
You bring back the Mac.
Yeah,
back to the Mac.
Back to the Mac.
Yeah, that's gonna be okay. You're right. So yeah, back to the Mac. So after the macOS change announcements, they're gonna be iOS also, unless you have maybe some macOS wishlist you want to talk about.
Not really.
No, maybe Siri instead of the Spotlight search, or Spotlight with Siri capabilities.
You can write to Siri.
Yeah, instead of talking, because in the office,
you look kind of weird.
Fun. Yeah. So basically, you just like do command space, bring up Spotlight, and then use it as Siri. Because right now you can already do like unit conversions and stuff like that. So it's just a matter of having more APIs for it. But other than that, no special requests for macOS?
No. We forgot Touch ID on the new Mac Pro too.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Touch ID.
The MacBook Pro, sorry.
And that special LED bar on top of this the keyboard.
Yeah. Or maybe in the trackpad.
Yeah, could be there. That'd be awesome though, in the trackpad, because it would not be something visible. Yeah. They did not think about this one. Or on the inside the power button.
What do you mean?
Instead of having the key for the power like they have on the MacBook right now,
yep.
If they go back to the older design where the power button was separate,
right,
was round and at the top right,
yep,
it could be the same kind of Touch ID like on your phone.
Right, that'd be nice too.
Yeah, I would like that. I loved it when the button was separate like that. It was kind of cute.
Well, I never press it anymore because it's always sleeping.
Yeah, you still have to reboot once in a while though.
No.
Oh, yes, I do. I have to. It crashes. So, iOS wishlist. There's more to talk in that section. I think the keyword here would be customization. That's something that iOS was lacking and is lacking compared to other OSs. They introduced new features like in Control Center. You can now have night shift, you can launch a camera, you can turn on Do Not Disturb, stuff like that. But all these buttons are system configured and you cannot change them. Most of them are useful. I don't use all of them personally, except the airplane mode and flashlight and camera. That's the only one I use. The rest, I don't really use it. So I think customizing these to be other apps would be perfect, or other features.
Yeah, me too. I'd really like to see a change in control center. I'd like to see personal hotspot on and off.
Yeah, true. That would be cool.
I never use a calculator. I never use the camera from there. The camera is on my lock screen or on my main homepage.
Yeah, I removed it from the homepage. I only used the control center to get to it.
I never locked the rotation.
No,
So we can remove that.
Yeah, and also it could also provide extra features when you use 3D Touch on the icons. So, like you said, for example, if you 3D Touch on the Wi-Fi, you could enable or disable the hotspot feature. If you do that on your camera, you could launch the video camera, the selfie cam, or directly. That would be perfect. Then I think the thing that I would like the most was probably a dark mode, since most of the apps coming out this year have some kind of update with the dark mode. Just thinking about OmniFocus, Draft, Tweetbot, and even Overcast, they all have some kind of dark mode. So something that would be system-wide would be perfect. macOS already has this for a few years now, so...
It's kind of half-baked, though.
Yeah, but it's better than nothing.
Do you have it on all the time?
All the time. The thing I miss the most is the Finder being all white and gray. That would be fun if it could be dark too. Because, like you say, it's half-baked because you have like the menu bar, you have the dock, and side panels, notification center, today view, but that's basically it.
Notification center is the same.
But it's dark.
It's always dark.
It's always dark? Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, I've never used the non-dark mode.
So it's only the menu bar and the dock.
Okay. Yeah, they could do better, but iOS right now has very few dark spots, so that would be something better to do.
I'd like to see. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think you wanted to see some read receipt per conversation.
Per conversation, that'd be nice. You can, in the little detail tab, we already have a bunch of settings there. We can mute a conversation, but why can't we just set the read receipt per conversation? It'd be nice.
Yeah. Also, I would love rich previews, like in Slack.
Right.
When
That'd
you
be nice.
paste a link. Yeah.
They expand Twitter links and
pictures. And you can probably 3D touch on those media.
Peek and pop websites.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they'd be pre-peaked for you if you want.
Yeah. Exactly. The emojis, they're getting out of hand. There are too many of them and not easy to search. Well, not searchable at all. So scrolling pages and pages just to find the eggplant or the siren light, it's a pain. So I know that Slack uses the column and then the name, so you can easily do column and then let's say Apple, and then you get the list of emojis with the apple in it.
Get suggestions.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be something very useful.
A better Siri overall.
Yeah, well, they need to up their game on the assistant side for sure.
Siri API to make it available for developers to use in their apps.
Yes, for sure. But just Siri itself, it should be much better at understanding. Lately, we heard on different podcasts that they were comparing it to the Alexa from Amazon, the Echo. And kids could use the Echo without any problem. And I can confirm to you that my 3 kids, even in French, on the Apple TV with Siri, it never works. And then I pick up the remote, say the exact same thing, and it works. So there's something with children speak that the Siri does not understand properly.
That's weird.
Yeah, but it really is the case. And my son, I think he never, ever got it right. Not a single time. And his habit now is trying 2-3 times. And then he just say, what's up, Siri? Don't you understand me? And she replies, I don't understand you. So yeah, he still likes it, but you can definitely see that the success rate is close to 0 for him. My daughter that is 9 years old, it's better, but it's still not every time. And my daughter that's 13, she gets it right, I would say maybe 70% of the time. and I would say I get it maybe 80 to 85, just because I'm used to like talking like a robot. So, but that really is not a success over here.
Being able to write to Siri would be nice too, because we don't like talking out loud to our devices.
Yes, exactly.
Writing would be good.
Yeah, you just like swipe down, start typing, or swipe left, start typing on your iPhone.
Yeah, kind of in the spotlight.
Yeah, that would be the perfect place. You know the hack, if you want, on how to type to Siri right now?
No?
You just launch Siri. Yeah, you just speak garbage. And if she doesn't understand you, she'll tell you, and you just tap the text, and you'll be able to enter your text manually with a keyboard. One thing that iOS 10 could do better is build upon the multitasking you currently have on the iPad, mainly. Now you can have two windows side by side, but the interaction between them is there's no interaction possible. So you can tap one window, do something, tap the other window, do something, but you cannot drag and drop. You cannot, let's say, share information between two apps like that. So I would hope that maybe for iOS 10, there would be some kind of a tunnel between the two apps, and you could define, the developer could define types of data that could be exchangeable, like text or images and stuff like that. So you could probably have, let's say, your browser on the left, and on the right you can take notes. And let's say you talk about something, you could just drag and drop the photo of the article or something from the left to the right. So that would be much better, instead of having to copy, then paste, then copy, then paste. So
drag and drop between the two screens?
At the latest. At least, sorry. And also probably something to find your app, because when you do apps side by side and you only have this long vertical list, you scroll like crazy. It's not very useful. So something with a search, or maybe favorites. So you can say, these are my favorite apps that I want always on top, because I don't use, let's say, all 50 of those who use a feature. That could come a long way to help you find the one you want.
Do you think we could see also they'd switch the name to iOS with an X for 10 to match Mac OS 10?
Maybe. I wouldn't like it. I think it's going backwards, and Apple likes to go forward. So, yeah, no.
No, they won't do that.
No, that would be good. That wouldn't be good. If they wanted to do that, they should have done it like a long time ago. They should have released more iOS version and then catch up, but now it's too late.
They might even remove the 10 from Mac OS.
Yeah, most probably. It will just be version number 11 something instead of being X.11. Anything else that you are hoping for iOS or Mac OS?
No, that's it.
For WatchOS now, I sincerely hope that Apple used its many engineers to do something in terms of performance. Hopefully it's not, like I wrote in an article I did a few weeks ago, not something related to performance of the hardware, because if that is the problem, they cannot do anything. They will have to wait for the Watch 2. Yeah, so hopefully maybe they can do something for that, because I'm thinking that because of the performance, because of the latency and communication with the watch, with the phone, nobody is really using those apps, because anything you want to do on your watch, it's much faster to take out your phone, unlock it, especially if you have a 6S or 6S Plus. The Touch ID is so fast, not for your thumb, but for everybody else.
Right.
So you just launch it and you just touch it, and it's basically unlocked even before you release your finger from the home button. So yeah, they really need to do something on this side of things, or announce a new watch. No, I don't think so. Probably announce the watch, yeah, in a for Christmas
in the fall with the new phone.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because if they miss this next Christmas, then he'll have to go to the next Christmas, which is a big time for gifts and such. But if they keep the Watch 1 for a while and lower the price, they would still need to do something on the software side to get it much faster. Because right now it's not up to what people have in terms of expectations. Nothing else. macOS, WatchOS.
Well, I think the deadline for native apps on WatchOS was today, no?
Yes, for new submissions. Yeah,
Right.
June 2. Yes, makes sense. So right now, no new updates or new apps can be pushed to the App Store with the WatchKit solution. It really has to go through as a native watch app. But even that did not change much. Yes, the apps are now loading faster when you launch them, but once they're loaded, they need to refresh their data, and that is what takes so much time. Especially if they have not some kind of mechanism to get the data in the background. You launch them and they're not up to date, and you have to wait 10, 15, 20 seconds. At this point, just take out your phone.
No, we're starting yesterday. We're starting June 1st.
Okay.
I don't even know which app is native. You don't see a difference if it's native or not.
No, you don't. It's really just something that the developer shared or not. So you could probably go back to developer's blog and see which version shipped with the WatchOS native app.
The only way to know is to turn off Bluetooth or be out of range of your phone, and then you can see which apps work or don't work.
Yes. Also, the other thing is whoever right now has a WatchKit app, you can be sure that future versions of their apps will probably come without any watch app at all, because they probably will not do the work to make it work with the WatchKit, the WatchOS SDK. So instead of spending time for that, they're just gonna pull the app from
just let it
from
die.
the binaries. Yeah. So until maybe WatchOS 2 and the new watch, if the performance can be there, then maybe developers will have a regain of energy and develop for it. Because right now, everywhere you read about the developer interest, it's always more on the Apple TV side than on the watch side. And weirdly, the Apple TV has, would say, less features in terms of the device itself. Watch is always on you. You can use it with every iOS app you already have. But still, the gold rush is mostly on the Apple TV this year. So,
do you think it's the hardware or it's the software?
I'm pretty sure it's the hardware. I dug a little bit deeper on this subject a few weeks ago. I discovered that the Bluetooth chip in the Apple Watch, according to the serial number, is the one from the iPhone 5.
Okay.
So basically it's Bluetooth 4, but it's not the latest iPhone 6S and 6S Plus. They have the Bluetooth 4.2. What does the 4.2 version of Bluetooth gives you is a much bigger bandwidth between devices. And basically the handshake, if you want, or connection initialization is much faster. And you can also use other types of technologies, like the Bluetooth can use your Wi-Fi signal to share data. So basically you could have the same data being sent over Wi-Fi and Bluetooth by the same chip. So basically this would reduce the delay and the latency to a very minimal level. So I'm pretty sure that the next watch will have this kind of data, not data, but this kind of chip in there. So for sure you'll get a much better experience. If it does not have its own SIM card. So that could be something else also.
I don't want to start paying a data plan for my watch.
No, why not?
I have enough monthly bills.
Yeah, in Canada it's awful. So okay, so this week, do you have something to talk about in the coffee sides of things?
No, nothing new.
No, there's no social app of the week.
no social media app of the week.
Cool. Okay, that's a first. And no gadget reviews either. I'm finishing up my written review of the WASD keyboard I reviewed last week on the podcast, and I received a Poker 3 keyboard also. So I'll have to talk about this one next week, when my nose will not be as stuffy and my throat not as sore. So this is it for this week. Thank you for listening. You can find the show notes at hipsterpixel.co/RGB/12. You can tweet us. I'm Vallier, VALLIERES on Twitter.
And I'm Tyler Menard, TYLERMENARD.
And if you have any feedback, we welcome your feedback, your constructive comments. You can leave us an iTunes review if you want, 5 stars. It's always good to have. You can tweet us at RGB Podcast. You can also go on hipsterpixel.co/RGB to find the email. Basically, we are reachable, so send us your comments. If you have some subjects you want us to talk about, maybe even product reviews, just ask, and you will receive. Have a nice week.
Nice week.